All right, welcome along everybody for URS preseason. We are here for Mexico this time around. I am your host, Ryan Ocon31, and today I'm joined by GSR Thrasher. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Just barely made it in time for session starts, so hoping to see great racing to start the season.
I agree. Um, we have a completely different driver lineup and a completely different aspect of things this season, Thrasher. Quickly, if you can, while I sort something out, can you go through the driver lineup for this season from the full-time drivers quickly?
Yeah, so in the Ferraris, we have Racecracker 11 and GSR CJ Pants. In the Red Bull, we have ARL Aaron Ocon and Will Cromack. In the Mercedes, we have Com 45, otherwise known as Communist, and QBR 20 Joe. In the Alpine, we have Alistar 711, Simon 37M, two new drivers to the league. In McLaren, we have last season's champion Davis 2K7 and season 1 runner-up Sam Steed. In the Alfa Romeo, we have Lando Norris 4404 and Blue Gaki 14. In the Alfa Tauri, we have Joseph F1 and Kostag GR. In the Haas, we have season 1 champion Pluto and Brute Gorgon. In the Aston Martin, we have Pole Guy 26 and JNT Gaming. And in the Williams, we have Chungus Goat and Jaboli MSU.
Well, there's your lineup, and we got a couple of reserves joining us today for preseason. I know it's not the best attendance. I'm hoping it will be better for race one. That's the only thing we can hope. But with that being said, I'll have you joining me for the season, it looks like, which is quite neat, I think, as everything looks right now. Not only that, but we have a brand new schedule. You want to quickly go over that while I sort out invites?
Yeah, and just a reminder to get me an invite whenever you can. Just no hurry.
All right, well, we'll do.
Alright, so obviously today we have the preseason race at Mexico. And then we have Australia to open up the season. And then we go to Jeddah, Silverstone, Bahrain sprint race with regular Bahrain. So that's our first of two sprint races this season. So then we have Singapore, then we have Belgium, Monza, and then our second sprint race at Hungary. And then we go to Baku, Imola, Spain, France, Austria, Japan, and then we have an off week due to the real life Brazilian Grand Prix. And we end the season at Abu Dhabi.
And I think I'll have you go over the championship standings for the top 15 from last season. I'll have you go over that as well while I sort the situation right now.
Alright, so obviously last season's champ, Davis 2K7, finishing the season with 91 points at a 10-point lead over second place, GSR Rouse. Third place was Sam Steed with 79. Fourth was Pluto with 77. And then we had Jab in the Haas last season. Great season for him. Fifth place, 62 points. And then we had J&T Gaming in sixth. Will Chromac in seventh. Atlantis J20 in eighth. Polo God 26 in ninth. Communist MV in 10th, otherwise known as Com 45. Kostag in 11th. Chungus Goat 12th. Rowdy TJ Boy 13th. AR Iron Hokan 14th. And rounding out the top 15 was Racecracker 11.
And constructor standings quickly.
Yep, we'll go to constructor. So your AlphaTauri, or sorry, your constructors champions are AlphaTauri. Had a 20-point lead or 20-point difference over Williams in second place. Then he had Alpine third, Ferrari fourth, Haas fifth, Aston Martin sixth, Alfa Romeo seventh, Red Bull eighth, McLaren ninth, and Mercedes rounding out the grid.
There you go. So that's really about it regarding that. And I know it's not, again, I know it's not the best attendance. I'm gonna have a talk with a lot of people after who checked in and then didn't, or whatever it may be. It's a bit ridiculous, but I'm gonna resolve the issues after. And hopefully we have the amount of people joining us during the season as we do for preseason. Hopefully, I hope that is the case. With that being said, can only hope for the best, right? Thrasher, check commentary chat for just a second.
All right.
Let me check as well what car Riles could go.
Oh, okay.
I agree with that one. It'd be nice, I think, to have.
Oh wait, I need to go spectate.
So yeah, you'll be racing in this, but I still want you to stay along here because you know what? We get it from a driver's aspect. I'd like that, and you know what? You get to be along board with the action. I think I'm gonna have Riles go into a McLaren.
Would you like
That's
me to keep
fair.
my audio included or no?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
most definitely. As long as you don't rage, don't have that rage in there,
Oh,
But
I
yeah, I
will
mean
be
it'll be a
professional.
one-off. It'll be yeah, no, it'll be a one-off for you, I think, with this, commentating and then driving as well. But
Okay.
um like I mentioned about the attendance too. I know there's a lot of people who are missing today who said they'd be able to race one. CJ was one of them. Joe, I think, was one of them. No, Joe, I think he said he was going to miss round one. Polo is going to be able to race round one. Sam, Joseph. I mean, the list continues. I think we're just waiting on Toneless as well. I need to sort that out. Toneless, are you able to join? It'll be just him, and then I think we can get going right after that. Um, with that being said, we got a brand new season in front of us, and you know what? We also had the car performance update 2 happen, Thrasher, most recently, and that's changed a lot of car placements as well that could have happened. It changed definitely a little bit of a delay for that too.
Sorry, you cut out. What did you say?
Um, I was saying how there's the performance patch that came out a couple of days ago, and that definitely hindered car placements being released a little bit earlier. With that being said, it's kind of changed the way car placements would be for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously the whole new game, um, is just something different on its own. There's been a couple updates since the game release, with traction and stuff like that, and now with the performance patch, you know, one thing that compares this or that sets aside this game from all the others is the cars are a lot closer in this game. I feel like. There was other games where the fastest car could be, almost 2 seconds faster than the slowest car, but I feel like that gap is definitely shrunk in this game. So it definitely is going to make the racing a whole lot better this season. And I just can't wait.
And you look at the aspects too. We got a longer calendar, so it's like last season there were a lot of races where it did matter more what happens, but it's gonna matter more in a long-term aspect what you do, I guess. Wouldn't you agree?
No, yeah, I definitely agree. You pretty much said it right on. Long term, the game they made is just absolutely, like I said earlier, it's a lot different than the previous games. So I can't wait. Definitely gonna see great racing this season, a lot of battling. Um, I just with obviously like the performance patch, it's just makes it a whole lot better.
And the driving aspect of it's different too. I mean, in the GSR Tier 3 race I raced, I mean, I won, but the thing is, it's like, I also had a lot of trouble with the way you were able to control and steer the car, and I know a lot of people are having the same issue too.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said earlier, with the driving aspect, they changed the traction, the kind of traction control update, where at the beginning drivers were struggling, and now they with the update they're able to hold it off a little bit more. Um, yeah, but driving aspect, no, it's definitely a much different game as well, driving. So honestly, some things, and I kind of agree with them that this game is more of a skill-based game, compared to the couple games we've had in the previous, just because of you have to run certain ways, and your skill is based on how you drive, compared to the last games where not so much.
And you know what? It's like the assists as well. I think it's more um, spaced out too, to where it's not necessarily so much of an advantage for running so many assists. But obviously, our league with the realistic performance, with the faster guys being in slower cars and vice versa, it definitely balances that out, of course. So I think that's also an interesting aspect of it too with this game.
Yeah, definitely. The assists are a lot different um, compared to the previous games. So I mean, yeah, pretty much that's what you said. Like you said, the assists are pretty much just, I don't know. It's kind of like it gives to the point where you kind of don't know what to say because you don't know what's gonna happen. Uh, but I just think the assist changing definitely helps some drivers, but it could also potentially not help any.
That's true, and we're getting going now for the start of this. Let's see how this will go. Because of how many drivers we have in here, we're going to do short qualifying. The rule for this season, Thrasher, is if we have 15 or less, it is short qualifying. If there is more, obviously we would have full qualifying, which I would assume we'd have more in the first race. With this being preseason, I'm not too happy with the numbers, but I'm at least happy it's only gonna happen in preseason. I hope. I mean, I know a lot of people told me who are missing today that they'd make round one. So hopefully that's the better aspect of it. Hopefully that's the positive aspect I can look at. But it's still not the best of attendance right now.
Yeah, like you said, it is preseason. Obviously, as the league owner, you know, you always wish for,
The best you can.
full, yeah, as best as you can. You would love a full lobby, or at least close to it. Obviously, 13 drivers showing up is not what we want, but again, it is preseason. I think a lot more people will definitely show up next week and then throughout the rest of the season.
All right, now here we go. We're getting going into this qualifying session, short qualifying for the first time in URS for an event. However, hopefully that doesn't happen in the real season. Again, as I mentioned. Not a whole lot to go over with Mexico as a track. I know track limits is something we'll watch out for. There's race director notes that drivers still have to follow. Drivers still have to follow the regular rules. So that's the same aspect of it as always. Clear weather, as mentioned. It's not, nothing's really changed there. However, just a couple of things that I also want to go over. Drivers who will be making their first starts and maybe reserve appearances this season in this lobby. Simon 37M, he'll be making his first start this today. Thrasher, you're a reserve. Not only that, but Riles, he has gone from full-time to a reserve. And I do not think of anybody else who's in this lobby right now who would be making a first start or a reserve appearance this season. There are a couple who are missing today who will be coming in during the season and making a first start. We have a couple drivers going on track right now, but many car changes, many changes throughout the season with adapting to things or whatever it may be. I know a couple of people are running different assists or whatever it may be. Maybe different camera settings. You have a lot of different things heading into this. Not only that, but you necessarily look at the first race of the season, which is Australia. That's the first time that's on the URS calendar, and it's the first time it's a season opener. So we'll be watching into that. Chat, if you're with us, make sure you tune in, hit that follow button, whatever you want to do. And also, another good thing to do if you're watching in the chat is tune in for race 1 next week as well, which, yeah, we'll have a lot more action by then. Really say too much good right now, but a lot is ahead of us during the season. And speaking of one of the drivers coming up to start a lap, I believe that is Davis in the final sector. Let's go on board with him for a lap around Mexico. Let's see how this goes. So he's coming out of the final corner right now. Traction is tough around that corner. Gets going. He's going to apply DRS. He's got his URS on hot lap. Entering turn 1, he's going to keep to the left side, which is what he should do. He's going to clip maybe a bit of this curb on this left side. Just slightly by entrance. Now to the right side at turn 1. Oh, he's going to lose it. And he's out. Oh my goodness. Already? That is not good for your champion last season, Davis 2K7. Well, Jab, he had a bit of trouble earlier as well. We're going to go on board with him. We'll get a couple interviews in with this session, but I don't think we're going to get too many. Someone who can get an interview who was on holiday is Polo. We'll get him in just a moment. But we're going to watch Jab's first lap here. We spoke about champions. Jab's a champion over at GSR Tier 1, reigning champion from the last 2 seasons. In fact, he has not scored a podium in this league just yet. However, this may be his best season to do so. Applies DRS out of turn 3. Now on the run down to turn 4. Let's see what sector 1 looks like. It is a 28.8. Now you got to enter this corner with tons of speed and tons of commitment. Same with that one. Oh, clips inside curve just a little. To the outside, it's invalid. So, we're going to go on board with someone else then who can complete a lap. Kosteger's now retired in the S section. So it's not been a good session from him. Pluto is 17-1. GSR Riles comes to the line. He may start a lap again. I believe he's invalidated that one. He will not invalidate this one, though, so far. Calm completes a lap as well. Riles starting this lap on board. As he enters turn 1, you want to kind of arc the corner. You want to do it just perfect. Riles is going to stick to this curb, clip it on entrance, now goes to the right side chunk as fast as 17.0. 76 thousandths in between that. But this S section, the first one, you have to get right and turn it at the right moments that you want to. Now, Riles comes to turn 4. What's this first sector going to be? A 29.1 in the McLaren. Oh, he goes a bit wide in entrance. Going to get a somewhat decent exit as he enters the double right-hander here. Does it okay. Now coming to the S section, one of the trickiest parts of this track. You got to commit, but don't commit too much to the curbs because you will spin out. Riles is on the curb, but he's not accelerating too much on the curb in order to keep himself from spinning out. Now to this final part of the S. Do not invalidate. And Riles does a decent job of that. He's done okay so far. It's not been the best of laps from him. Completes the end of sector 2. Goes a bit wide. Keeps it valid, though. I think that's one of the places you can extend. But if you let off and give the time back, you should be okay. I think Riles did just that. Entering the final corner now. Here comes Riles to the start-finish line. What's it going to be? It will be a 19.1. 2 seconds off the pace, but not too bad. GSR Thrasher, we'll go on board with you. Starting this lap. Be the last one we'll go on board with before we get an interview in with Polo. You have a lot of ERS use there, Thrasher. I think you went for a lap before, if I'm correct, but you're now going for an extra one. Might have messed up the first one. Entering the first turn, clipping that inside just a little bit. You got to be on that curb now. I believe that's Rice Cracker out of this session. A little bit wide an exit for Thrasher. Now DRS applied. A little bit awkward coming in on hot lap with him within the party, but as he enters sector 2, 29.4 for the first sector. And you know what? I have to say, Thrasher, I do think this is good practice for you for GSR later on, at least. So it's good to get you in here. And I will say that Ferrari is very similar to the equal car. Very careful with this, but he's in the wall. And I'd like to ask Thrasher what happened there. Did you accelerate too much, clip the curb? What happened?
Yeah, I got on the curb a little bit too much. I didn't really have a setup that was getting anything else with racing, so I just went all in line on YouTube and just got the random setup. So, not having any practice definitely is key. So.
And not only that, but it is definitely key for these races to get in a lot of practice for sure. While I get Polo an interview, I'll go on board with Will Chromac. I'll see if you want to ask him any questions. I'm going to call him via Discord, therefore I can make sure he does not have any sort of audio glitch with having audio included or not. If you do want to ask him any questions, I'll transfer the message, but let me get Polo in here. Let me see, Polo. Call. Start this. We're on board with Will, by the way. And here's Polo to join us. Polo God, hello. Are you there?
Wait, hello?
Hello. It's good to have you join us. I will, Thrasher, can you get Toneless an invite, by the way, to the game? Quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. Polo, I have to talk to you about, your season coming in. I know you're, speaking right now in a different country, in Spain, because you are on holiday, as mentioned. But I have to ask regarding this season. Last season you were in the slowest car in Haas. This season you're in the second slowest car in Aston Martin. What are the expectations being in Aston Martin compared to a Haas? And secondly, the expectations being in the second slowest car compared to the slowest.
See, when you're in the second slowest car, you have, like, it's a bit of a weird one because, but you're up against tougher competition this season in Jab, and I'm up against tougher competition at least with Jab and Chungus and the Williams, which meant I was going to be thrown into the Aston Martin, which on last game I did not like at all. But that was because it was like one of the midfield cars, and now it's a completely different car this game. I haven't driven it much yet because, like I said, like we mentioned, I'm on holiday. But once I'm back, I'm gonna get a feel for the car and see how it drives.
Last question I have for you. Do you feel like you'll be a bit behind because of that, or no?
I probably think so because with everyone having the experience on the change handling model, I say I probably will be a bit off the pace heading into round one.
Thrasher, do you have any questions for Polo God?
Yeah, I just want to know what's his expectations into the season, obviously in the Aston Martin.
I know you can't, so I'm going to transfer what he's saying to you. He said he wants to know, what is your expectations this season in Aston Martin? And I want to add on to that by saying, yeah, you were obviously in the second slowest car at the end of season one in the Williams. So, yeah, second slowest car. What's the expectations there?
I say, there, just fight for points most races, try and obviously beat my teammate, but I'm up with JNT this season, which is, I'm kind of shocked, but I'm also quite happy that I'm teammates with the guy I helped get faster at the end of the last game, especially in RPL, but now he's my teammate, so we'll see how we get along. Should get along pretty well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And Jab goes fastest with the two Williams, 1-2 right there. You were just speaking about Jab a little bit. I do have an additional question with that. Thrasher, did you get Toneless in the lobby by chance?
Yeah, I did send. I sent him 2 invites.
Okay, did he join?
I'm pretty sure I saw him join.
Okay, let me just tell him what car to go to quickly, and then I'll get that situated. Polo, stick along with us, just sorting that out. A little bit late for me on that, but just making sure everybody gets in the right car. I'll tell him go rather Alpine or Alpha Atari. Thrasher gave an invite. Okay, so yeah, no, with Jab going fastest right there, as you saw for a moment, I have to ask you a bit on that one. I'm gonna go on board with someone on a lap or a hot lap. Let's go on board with Leo. I have to ask you, with you seeing Jab go fastest right there, and he's ahead of Chungus, who has great qualifying pace. Do you think you have more of a chance to out-qualify Jab in a different car this season, considering last season you were 0-6 to him? Do you think you have more of a chance now in a slightly faster car to out-qualify him, depending on the track?
It all depends on the model, and it all depends on how big the pace deficit is for the Williams to the Aston Martin. I don't think it's that big, but I'm gonna see how I fare up against Jab, because Jab is definitely gonna be my main contender if I am gonna have an outside chance of the championship this season.
Most definitely, and just as a co-owner, I don't know if you've tuned into the stream or not, but any quick thoughts on the attendance?
Not amazing, but it's only preseason, so I wouldn't worry too much yet. If the numbers are like this at round 1, that's when we'd probably start getting concerned, but it's only preseason.
All right, good to have you join us. I will let you go and continue having fun in the rest of your holiday in Spain.
Alright, cheers. I'll talk to you.
All right, have fun. Good to have him join us, and good to see that he is in a good mood and having fun in Spain. Thrasher, I believe you were just on a lap for a moment, but that changed. I'm going to try to get Toneless in through my invites. I don't know what the issue is joining through invites with him. I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why it's not letting him join or why he hasn't joined yet. However, Jesus Christ, online services error. Oh my goodness. Tons of errors.
Did you lag out?
Wow. What?
Did you lag out?
No, I was talking about Toneless.
Oh.
Wow. I'm shocked at that, but Communist invalidated that lap, and he's gonna, I believe, start another one or come to the pits. This time he will start another one. Let's go on board with this. He doesn't have a whole lot of URS. I'm just gonna quickly talk about this one. That lap would have been 0.3 of an improvement, which, you know what? The test car placements, I mean, we're seeing why, I guess, certain people are in certain cars. You see Pluto being faster than Jab, and I think that goes to show that these car placements aren't bad. They aren't bad, and that's a good thing. Obviously, it's only preseason. Communist going wide. He's going to keep that valid. Communist during the offseason had a gamer tag change, and he also had a nationality change because the Russian flag is not allowed on this game. So he's racing under the Iceland flag, going through turn 4 and 5. Not too bad right there. The Mercedes car has a lot of problems on the rear, but also a lack of straight line speed. So the fact Communist has kept this going pretty well, I think that's not too bad. Got to complete the lap though. You got to complete it without spinning. Saw Thrasher go in that part off the track, and Communist has ended up invalidating. Oh, there you go. There's that. Who else is about to start a lap or on a lap? Let's go on board with Aaron Ocon. I know he's on a lap, but the thing with him is he actually won a race in this league before. Shocking to hear for some. However, the good thing for him is he has stats to back up why that is deserved. He was in the Red Bull when he won it. He did well in the Mercedes, got a podium at Bahrain, and then when he got switched to the McLaren later that season, he took a pole. He had a chance at the podium. He took a podium on, you know, for him, I think this season that he's in the second fastest car, he has a good chance of doing well. Let's see what he can do crossing the line now. He's going to go fourth, so you know what? For Aaron Ocon to be up there in the Red Bull, that's good for him. Good to see, at least. And considerably so. I mean, probably one of the most struggling seasons he had last season in the Ferrari. He didn't take many points finishes. In fact, he was close to a podium in Bahrain, where in fact he took his last podium back in season 1. So we'll be watching him to see if he can take a podium this season. Simon's about to start a lap, but quick thoughts on Aaron Thrasher? I know you were teammates with him for a slight bit, but do you think he can maybe get back to the podium this season? Break that drought?
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. You know, Aaron, he gets a little hate, you know, and sometimes he's not the cleanest driver, but he's definitely got a lot of talent in there. And I definitely think he can just keep it consistent. He'll definitely have a podium this season, no doubt.
Someone who also could have a podium is Simon37M. He's very familiar around this track. In fact, he won an SRS, which I believe he won an SRS, which was in fact one of the last races in the league before it shut down. And in fact, let me point this out too. I believe he did win 1 or 2 races, so he might have a chance to come in there this season. He's a newcomer. He's in the Alpine, and I've not seen what he did in Sector 1, but I can tell you right now, it does look decent so far. Got to keep it going. Got to keep it very careful on the curbs. Don't spin out. I think he's doing a decent job so far. Can't validate through this section. He's going to go a bit wide. Keeps it valid. You know, that part always was the same way in F1 2021, but 6/10 up on his time. Not too bad. See what he can do. Alpine is one of the fastest cars, in fact, on this game in a straight line. We have noticed that. Another fast car is that Haas in a straight line. Pluto's definitely got the advantage there this season. Chungus is retired from the session. Here comes Simon to the line. What's he going to do? He's going to go 5th fastest. Not too bad from him. I believe he is racing. Let me check what nationality that was. I want to make sure I pronounce it right, just to be safe. That is the Slovenia nationality he's racing under. But a minute left in the session. Let's go on board with either Gagi or Pluto. Pluto about to start a lap. Currently our pole sitter right now. Thrasher, you are out of the session. Was that a crash?
No, that was in the pits.
Okay, so you get to watch us through this last part of the session. Any thoughts on the session so far?
Yeah. I think the clear thing to talk about is his top three. Pluto, Jab, Chungus. You know, like we were talking about earlier with the new patch, the performance patch, that those cars are a lot closer, and it's proving it in this quali session right now.
Here we go. Pluto starting a lap. Coming out of the final corner. This is currently your pole sitter. Can anything change from that? We'll see. Turn one this time. He's going to take a little bit more of an arc than anyone else we've watched on board. Going to the inside, clipping that curve just a little bit. Now to the left side and back to the right side. Going to do that just perfectly. Very good commitment. A little bit of a slide, though, which might compromise that. DRS applied. ERS also applied. Upping the gears. And now, coming to the end of Sector 1 is an improvement. It's 200s down, but Communist goes fastest. There you go. Hadn't took a pole since as far back as Britain, and that was his only pole. Pluto goes a bit wide there. I think he messed up the entrance. This might be it for his last lap. Completing the checker flag is Simon. We have other cars coming across the line now as well at their last laps. This is the last chance for anyone else to get a lap in. Pluto, the end of the S section is pretty decent, but is it good enough in Sector 2? Now he's invalid. Oh no. Jab's also invalid. Communist still keeps going. Aaron Ocon's at the end of Sector 2. Will Cromack is up, I believe, 4/10. What can he do? The second season in a row he's in a Red Bull. He's got a teammate who has previous experience being in the points now this season. What does Will Cromack do? Coming to the start-finish line now. What's it going to be? Oh, comes to the line. It will be faster than Simon, but not anywhere to the top 5. Gagi's out as well. Aaron Ocon is invalid. That is your qualifying here in Mexico. Communist on pole. And still it's close in qualifying.
Yep. You know, I just got done talking about the performance patch, and as soon as I did, Communist goes up and just steals pole. And look at that gap. That is such a close gap between Communist and Pluto for pole.
Most definitely, and just look at the gap to Jab as well. It's not like Jab was anywhere far off the pace either. He invalidated the last lap. The pressure's definitely on for this season to perform, and he is much. What is showing for Jab too, Thrasher, is he's much closer.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, he's only just over a tenth behind. You know, over the Mercedes. You know, and then you have his teammate Chungus, who's about a tenth and a half behind it. And then obviously you've got Aaron, you got the Red Bulls, who, you know, 4/10 back. It's not that bad. You know, obviously they might be in a faster car, but you know, this is just outstanding quality. Only 8 drivers qualifying, but still, I mean, for just a small lobby, it was a great quality.
And you have Communist fastest, Pluto, Jab, Chungus, Aaron running out the top 5. People who didn't make out on laps: Kostag, Davis, Racecracker, Blue Goggy, and Thrasher. We'll see how this 50%er goes. I know some were requesting a 25. I was like, I don't know about that. And you know what? Not too bad. It's still really close to the front of the field, and that's good to see at least that it is that way. You know what? Fair play. Fair play that it's still close to the front of the field with everything that's going on. And you know what? I know I can't look at it the most positive aspect, but the positive aspect here, Thrasher, is the racing here, as well. At the front of the field, it's still close, and it shows what season we might have. I mean, we thought maybe the car placements would be really messed up. I mean, we still have it close between, even if it's not the front of the field, we still have it close between Communist, Jab, Chungus, and we'll even add Pluto in there too. I mean, they're all at the front of the field, all within 2/10 at the front, at a track where it's tough on track limits.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Mexico's always been a track. But that the main issue is track limits.
Catches people out.
But this is going to be a very interesting. It's going to come down to who can get the least amount of penalties.
All right, here we go for the formation lap. We're going to get this going. I think we'll be okay. Yes. All right, we're good. Well, let's see how many drivers missed the grid slot. Let's see how many don't. I mentioned about Toneless. Toneless was not able to join the session. He was having problems with that. Starting on the hards is Kostag, Simon, Will Chromac, Chungus, Jab, and Pluto. The rest of the field's on medium, so this should be an interesting one. What kind of race is this going to be? I mean, you know what? Strategy is always something to play in. We'll find out. I mean, speaking of strategy, we'll go over our strategy as commentators, and we'll talk about the favorites entering this race. So, I have to go with two favorites. I'm going to go with Calm and the Mercedes. I think, you know, that random lap we saw at the end of the session showed what he's capable of and showed that he could do really well this season. I think heading into the season, he's got a good chance. I don't know. I mean, different team, different motive. I don't know. We'll see. He won the Constructors last season, so that's hopeful. Davis at the back of the field, champion from last season, didn't have the best qualifying, but I think he's got a chance to maybe recover that for this preseason race. Thrasher, two people who you think during the season who can impress you or can show what they can do today.
I think one driver you must mention is Jab. Obviously, you know, gets stuck with slower cars. And had a great season for a Haas driver last season. And now the Williams, I think he can repeat or maybe even have a better season than last season. And then obviously the second one, I can't wait to see what Blue Goggy can do. Blue Goggy in the Alfa Romeo was a reserve last season. You know, there's a lot of people have said a lot of things about Goggy. I think Goggy's going to change it around the season. And I think Goggy is definitely one to one. Well, that just happened right in front of me. But
well, he's also one to spin around in the final corner of the formation lap. He'll be the last car to come to the grid. But with that being said, we'll see your point of view from the back of the field if you can commentate on that and try to get through the action. We're going to see from the front of the field what happens here too. We have Communist on pole, Pluto next to him, Jab, Chungus, Aaron, the top five. Here we go. 5 red lights coming upon us here for preseason. Here we go. It is 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. I think Calm didn't get the best of starts. Here's Pluto alongside him. Already going to overtake him before turn 1. Jab's making it 3 wide. It's already going to be 3 wide in a slipstream fest down to turn 1. Aaron O'Connor getting in the mix of things as well. He's trying to challenge. They're going to be 2 wide. They were looking for 3 wide at turn 1, but it is Pluto alongside Jab and Pluto getting ahead. Jab has to go behind him, and now Calm already from first to third, and Jab challenging out of turn 3, already into turn 4. He's going to make the move to the right side, possibly overtake Engage. He's going to challenge up to sector 2. They're 3 wide. Here's Calm. And Rice Cracker's already picked up a penalty as well. Now Calm back down the inside. He's going to take the lead already. A good start from Calm. Lewis took back that lead. I think a little bit of lag happened there. It's put Jab back down to 4th, and Goggy already with an amazing start, as you mentioned, up to 5th. And at the back of the field, there's positions trading. Aaron Ocon fell to the back. He might have had some trouble. Thrasher, can you update us on that? Did he have trouble at the back?
so there was a bunch of mess from about 8 on back in both at the beginning of second 2. So there's a lot of contact. Miles did not go off. But I think Aaron might have damage, but I could be wrong.
Well, he passed Riles there, and speaking of passing, Goggy, Kostag were changing spots in that, and Rice Cracker is spun at the final corner. He better not get disqualified for blocking the pit lane there. He saved that one, but Communist leads the first lap, and he is already a second out of the field, doing that very well so far, and especially with the straight line speed disadvantage he has. That's pretty impressive so far. With that being said, it's Pluto ahead of Chungus, and then Jab, your top 4, with Goggy behind, who is getting challenged from Kostag. And speaking of getting challenged, Davis is off, and Simon is now out of this race. Will this bring out a safety car? I think it has. No, it's brought out just a virtual safety car right now. So, with this virtual safety car, racing's going to be halted. There's contact at turn 2 and 3. I think Davis and Simon maybe collided right there. I'm not sure. A little bit of a position swap here at the back, the front of the field, which is slowing them down. Oh boy. This isn't good. This isn't good. Chungus is now lagged out of the session as well. He's going to need an invite back. Simon's left the session with that being said too. We'll get Chungus back in here. Gaggi's picked up also a penalty for that shenanigan that we saw under the virtual safety car. I don't think that was too much of his fault, but something happened there. It's compromised a bit of racing and a bit of BSC stuff there. Chungus lagging out of the session, which is going to pass him, and I think that might have been what caused it. Back to racing. Ricecracker with a penalty again, I think. And Chungus's AI is really eager to get by Jab here as well. He's going to overtake him on the straightaway with URS being used. And I think there was a position swap in the meantime between Riles and Aaron. And Aaron's got by Riles again as well to the back of this field. Speaking of that, 2-second lead already between Com and Jab there. No, or sorry, Com and Pluto there. I apologize. Thrasher, any update at the back of the field? We got Davis who spun out. Don't know if you reset the track there and then, but you continue. Com leads the race.
I was just say, yeah, I was gonna say Davis spun behind me. But no, nothing really happening that I can see. Like here, just Aaron and Riles continuing to battle. Oh,
Oh, there you go. You've spun out right there in front of the pit lane. And hopefully don't get disqualified. I think you're good there. Going. Yeah, there was a lot of issues with desync I saw. I'm checking on how bad that was. We have a yellow flag. It's Davis, I think, waiting up, letting you go. And we have a little bit of a battle between Aaron and Riles still. Ricecracker involved in this. Penalty to spare for Rice. Aaron's still staying within a second. Oh dear, what's going on back here?
Nothing. I'm just confused on what he's trying to do.
Oh, okay. Well, Davis back down the inside. Gonna try to go through. Give it. Yeah, you know what? Giving us some action in preseason. I like this. I like that. I like that. I like that aspect of it. But Davis has got back ahead now. So there you go. That is swapped. Aaron as well with Riles. A little bit of a battle in the midfield here. I know there was a position trading, and Davis is spun again, and now you are around too. Well, there you go.
I just got a penalty for spinning. I spun and got a penalty.
And here we go. Aaron on Riles again. And Ricecracker's involved in this. He's going to go down the inside. Oh, he hits Riles out of the way just a little bit. And Davis has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And both of you are going to the softs, I see. Well, Chromac also with Kosteg right there. We have a yellow flag. That's for Com from the lead. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He had a 5-second buffer almost, and he spun it from the lead with no front wing now. And Communist pitting. Gotta be careful not to speed. He gets it down just in time. And we have the Williams boys back in the battle. We have yellow flag. What's that for? Davis inside of Thrasher. Okay. But now the gap between the leaders is still actually got closer. This train. Jab has really caught up to Pluto there. And Chungus is caught back up to Jab. So now this is going to be a big fight for the lead. That we'll have to watch out for. Long game, long strategy game. And speaking of that, Communist has gone to the soft. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. This setup is horrible.
And speaking of that, well, Chromac is spun around at the beginning of the S's there. Hostag got a penalty in the process of that as well. We have DRS between the top 3 drivers. Pluto, who leads Jab, and Chungus, and here's the yellow flag there. I think that's Davis, let me go. Trying to give a little bit of a battle, I see. But
You gotta
Pluto,
make it somewhat entertaining.
yeah, there you go. At least some entertainment. We got that at the front of the field too. Look at this. 7/10 between the Haas and the Williams right here. 6/10 now. The gap keeps decreasing. I mean, Jab keeps getting closer and closer and closer. DRS, ERS. I mean, look at the ERS advantage here. They're all pretty similar in ERS, and now Aaron Ocon is spun out. Changing her front wing is Riles. I think he might have had a collision with Ricecracker there that broke his front wing right there. Rear wing, I think Davis got in the back of yours right there. We're lucky we didn't get any rear wing damage. But now 4/10 for the lead once again. All these runners in the top 3 all are on the hards. So Haas, the Williams, maybe we'll see. We've got a spinner. It's Davis again. That's right in front of the leaders too. Davis is not the best of preseason races, especially for your last season's champion. And speaking of champion of season 1, leading this race right now, Pluto ahead of Jab, and then Chungus having a little bit of a DRS train right here. Six tenths he's keeping in front of you. I mean, you got to be careful through that last corner. I saw Pluto slide a little bit through it. Aaron Ocon, I think, is spun again. But yeah, the last corner you got to be careful, and there's a couple corners like that on this game where usually on last game it'd be full throttle. This game with the patch, it's not going to be full throttle every time. Jab, DRS through the final corner down to turn 1 now. Oh, loses the rear just a bit. Keeps it going though. Lucky he was keeping it a straight line. Thrasher having to be lapped right there, but fastest lap for Communist. Jab, 4/10 again. ERS, still pretty much the same for the top 3 actually. I think Jeb was the one who lost out just a little bit on it, but everything should be fine right there. Davis picks up a penalty in the process. And Aaron is off again. Just caught the end of that. That's in the S section. Aaron has had a lot of trouble in this race. And I think the leaders have just gone by there. Yes, they have. And now it's really close between the leaders once again. 2/10, 3/10, even closer. Look at second place. Chungus was looking to challenge on the teammate, and he can't do so right there. Jab was looking for a gap to maybe get the leader of Pluto right there. Couldn't do so. Aaron Ocon with another penalty. The gap is just so close, and look what we're learning from this. We're learning that these guys are still going to have a close battle like they had last season. Obviously now in different cars. But what we are learning is we're having a battle for the lead once again. Jab ahead of Pluto. Into turn 1. He took the lead back. There you go. Jab the leader. But Pluto not going to have DRS down to turn 4. But with the straight line speed, he might be able to challenge us. Aaron Ocon is now retired. Is that on track? Can't tell if it's on track or in the pit lane. I think that's in the pit lane. Oh, in the pit lane with you? I think it is. Just wanted to make sure because I saw Red Bull going on track though, so that's Will. Just wanted to make sure. Davis has left the session. Get him an invite back if he lagged out.
Oh, I love this game. I just pitted and it's telling me to change strategy. Doesn't matter. Game I don't have time. It does not matter.
And DRS once again for Pluto. Got to re-challenge Jab for the lead. Into turn 1. He's right in the slipstream 2. He's going to make the move to the right side. Can he pull alongside this time? Yes, he can. He's going to go ahead before the braking zone, in fact. There you go. Retaking the lead is Pluto, and he's going to have double DRS down to turn 4. The Jab challenge back, though? He looked like he could, but not this time. Five tenths, still 3 tenths with Chungus and Jab. I mean, that gap between Chungus and Jab is still close either way. Jab will still have DRS, but is Chungus going to challenge Jab for the first time in this race? Will we see a move being made here? Chungus does go through. I think Jab let him through right there. Maybe Jab saw that Chungus was the faster car. I don't know. Get
I think we'll chrome that. Yeah.
Get him back. Other way, Chungus close to Pluto now. 4 tenths between them. And closing just a bit. Not a whole lot. I think Pluto used a bit of that ERS. Jab actually used, I think, a lot more of that ERS because he is now down to 29%. And Chungus was just so close to Pluto again for the lead, but couldn't do anything of it. Now he's going to switch back right here. Can Chungus get the move done into the double right? No, he can't. Pluto leaves him just a little bit of space in case he looked to dive, but Pluto continues to keep the lead. Still Pluto running just a bit wide. Might have picked up a track limit warning for that. Not too sure. We'll check that in a moment. But Jab's still hanging with DRS even though he's fallen back. He's definitely lost a little bit of pace, I would say. I think that's a fair thing to say. Because he realized that Chungus was faster. He let Chungus by and thought maybe about the long game. Let these two battle, find out what happens. Let's see, does Chungus have a chance to maybe take the lead back? Can he do it in a turn 1, maybe in the brakes? No, he cannot. He's a little bit too far back. It's not letting Will or Davis take control. I don't understand why that is. Usually it would do that, even if a driver is host. And see, here's the thing I don't get either. If I was host, there would be the problems with what's it called? There would be problems with the light glitch, right? And now that you have a driver hosting, there's problems with people joining. I don't get that. See, even if I were to be host, it'd still have the light glitch. Like, I think you remember... did you watch GSR back yesterday, Thrasher? Because that happened. Because Aid was host, and it still had him have the light glitch. So I don't know. I mean,
I did not see that. I was out all day, so
I don't know if you watched it back or not, but yeah, I mean, there was the light glitch there, and then in tier 2 and 3 race, it was fine when drivers had lagged out and joined back in. That was all fine. So I don't know what the issue is here, but we have Chungus challenging back for Pluto. He's finally gonna be able to pull alongside. Can he get the move done? Gonna still be side by side with Pluto. Chungus gets ahead. Pluto's gonna challenge back, maybe down to turn 4 with more straight line speed. Chungus has double DRS now. Pluto using a bit of that ERS. Can he challenge back here? I think he might be able to get him in the brakes if he's close, but he's not close now. Gave Will Cormac another invite. I think he might be able to join back and so we can see what happens. His AI car is close to Com right there. Davis pits, and he has been able to retire from the race.
Let's go. I would get a point.
There you go. And Chungus taking the lead with Pluto having DRS. Jab having DRS again. And in fact, I'm surprised about this, but Chungus has managed ERS pretty well, in fact. And I think last season, if you remember Thrasher, we saw him actually have a lot of races where the ERS from him was pretty low. It was pretty low. And you know what? He's able to manage that pretty well. He's done a decent job of it today. Hopefully he can do so and replicate that in the season.
Yeah, especially with this game, how quick.
There we go. Hold on for the lead. Pluto back to the lead over Chungus. And there you go. Possession swap once again there. Go ahead.
And I was just saying how it's so easy to drain the ERS and it's so hard to save it in this game.
And not only that, but you have to be careful on, I guess, how you manage it. Because with the difference in straight line speed between some of these cars, if you don't manage it good, and you have a slow car in the straight line, then expect to be passed. Give you a flag?
Definitely.
It is you.
This setup is bad. Oh, and I just, okay.
I think it was because how you ran on the racetrack, but you have Chungus now, in the last DRS zone here, still in DRS. As we reach almost halfway, these guys should be pitting at some point, of course. Same with the rest of the top 6. At least you get to watch the rest of the race from the commentary box, but now 9 runners left. Yes, Clark, there is spots for a reserve. It could be full-time soon, depending on what happens, so we can get that situated. I'll make sure to message you after the race. But right now, speaking of race, we got a race for the lead still. Chungus is going to have double DRS down to turn 4, and he's closer on the straight now, and if he gets close enough down to turn 4, he may be able to be okay. Blue Goggy's going to need another invite. In fact, did his Xbox shut off?
Oh, I accidentally went into the party.
Oh, good.
Oops. I just had to move back to the game.
And I know you mentioned Pluto's pace, Clarkson, but, you know, he's... Oh, Chungus loses the rear! Oh, he's going to keep it straight, keep it going. He has kept it going, and I think Jab will still be in DRS of Pluto if he keeps Sector 3 okay. And Chungus, oh my goodness, you see that? The slide was incredible. He saved it, and usually in that section of the track in the S's, you don't save a car there often, and he just has. And now he's allowed Jab to go back through, and Jab will have a challenge at the lead now.
Yeah, that was a big slide and great save too.
My goodness. How was he able to save that?
I don't know. You said that's the hard part of the save.
Riles and Com at the back of the field as well in a little bit of a battle here into the S section. They've had struggling races, but at least they get to battle and see what they can do. Kostad goes by Goggy's car. We have yellow flag that's race tracker. I think Goggy needs an invite back to the session. That sounds about realistic. He joined back, be able to take control.
I'm not sure. Yeah, he's back in.
Communist 3-second penalty for him. Pluto still keeps his lead 5/10. Not a bad gap. But as I was saying, last lap, Com45 is Communist MV, by the way. He changed his gamer tag in the off season. But I meant to mention with Pluto there, you mentioned, Clark, how he had good pace, and he does have good pace. That's why he was able to retake the lead like he was. And not only that, but the fact he was able to hold off there for as long as he has and keep the advantage has shown why he was the Season 1 champion. And speaking of that, Com goes by Riles. Riles challenging back now. Can Riles get him right here? He has got through. Slides just past just barely. Here we go for the lead. Pulls to the left side. He's going to get the move done. He retakes the lead. It's now been all three of these guys having a chance at the lead. And Gagi ends up pitting on those mediums. So it's just the hard runners in the top 6 who have yet to pit. Can Pluto take this back with the straight line advantage? No, he cannot. Doesn't have enough speed to do so yet. Yeah, and you spoke about the straight line too. The straight line speed for the Haas is much faster than the Williams this game. So it was pretty much close on last game. Now it's the Haas with the advantage. So obviously with that being said, maybe that'll be something we'll have to watch out for in the season. We have Rice Cracker going around once again.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, there's a difference between the last game and this game with the performance patch. And, last season,
That was close to hitting the back of him. He had to be careful right there, and Com goes by for 7th place. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, you're saying, the difference how last season they were pretty close, and how Haas got a good advantage in the straight lines. But he's going to need that straight line speed to kick in here, because he's almost 9/10. Now he's with the DRS on the straight line speed he's seeing.
Strongest ERS advantage for him as well. Pluto and Jab, not the best in a straight line, or not in a straight line, but in ERS right now. If this race were to come down to that, we still got a pit stop to go. We'll see how these guys do on that. 5/10 now. Pluto gaining back with double DRS. He's going to have a bit of an advantage into turn 4. And he's going to close up once again. Rice Cracker with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And just close enough, but not close enough for a move yet between these two.
And this is a nice 3-card battle we have for the lead. This is what I love to watch. I love to watch cars have great battles for the lead.
And Pluto is still within DRS once again. Chungus right behind him as well, waiting in the wings to challenge when the opportunity is there. I have to say, Jab last season, a little bit wide for Pluto, but Jab last season, he was one of the drivers to score points, I believe, in every single race. And last night in GSR, a league that a lot of people in here race in, Pluto does too now, he was able to close it out, 4th to 1st. On a safety car restart. I mean, I guess whatever Jeb does, he's got an advantage on, and he's able to keep it out of trouble. But right now, he's being challenged to the lead once again. Here comes Pluto to the inside. Into turn 1. Both going to be side by side. I think Jeb's going to get the advantage. Can Pluto switch back? I think he can. Look at this. Jeb's going to have a little bit of an advantage, but Pluto has more of the straight line speed advantage. DRS, ERS right here. Now into turn 4. Where does Pluto go? Right side, we got a yellow flag, but Pluto is going to take back this lead. I think again, they're going to be side by side into turn 4. Chungus is waiting in the wings too, but Pluto down the inside, side by side with Jab. A little bit more of a battle for the lead. Here we go now into the double right. Pluto, advantage to the inside line. Jab on the outside. He's going to challenge back to the S section right here. Jab is still keeping it wheel to wheel. Has to back out. Pluto takes back the lead. Unbelievable racing at the front.
A smart move by Jab to back it out. If he doesn't back out, this potentially both cars.
And right in front of Chungus too, so that maybe would have made a 3-car collision right there. And look at the leader toe to toe between the top 3. Riles is out of the session. I think he's retired in the pit lane. Yes, he has. Might have had to go early, might have had trouble. I know he spun out a moment ago. It wasn't going the best of ways for him. But now Jab is still close to this lead. He's going to have DRS all the way down to turn 1 once again. 4/10 of that gap. Can he close up the way he wants to on Pluto? He's in the slipstream. He's got DRS. No ERS being used, but he has a chance to maybe make a move in the braking zone. If he can he make it late? No, he cannot. Post-stag pits. And where he's going to come out, that might be near Will, and Gagi might close up to him as well. Maybe see if a battle spikes there. Still close between the leaders. I mean, if anyone messes up, Chungus's game is right back in it. He's been sitting 3rd ever since that little slide he had, and it's Jab and Pluto at the front. So pit stops could be with a difference between this race, Thrasher.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, all 3 start on the hard, so they're all same scrap, but it's still going to come down to when they pit.
And we'll see if that happens anytime soon if they go to the mediums, because it was, I believe, who was it who extended on the mediums? I think it was Gagi who extended about 15 laps. So pit stops could happen anytime soon. Speaking of that, we have Jab coming in. Yep. Got to be careful not to speed. I think he was close to speeding. He got it down just in time. So perfect pit stop from him so far. Let's see how this goes in the pit lane for him. And let's see where he comes out. Does he come out anywhere near Kostag? He should be ahead. But if this is a bad pit stop, if there's any wing change, that would happen. He is going to be ahead of Kostag. He is coming out of the pits now. The battle for the lead, though, is now between Chungus and Pluto. They've got to have a good in-lap here if they are pitting this time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The one thing that could help Jab is if these two start to battle before pits, then he could get a little bit of time from that.
And will Chromac pits in this race again? Or no, sorry, for the first time. He's going to come up behind Gagi. Racecracker also picks up a penalty in the S section right there. To see how Jab's outlap is, but 21 seconds between him and the lead.
Then maybe that's last one for Pluto.
Maybe. I did say I would check it later. I just want to check quickly to see what that's like. Nope, can't go to Race Checker. Now I can. Let's see. View that. 2 warnings he has, I think. Yes. Whether that be for collision or not, we'll see. Do any of the leaders come in this time? Yes, both them do. Here we go. Hitting. Chungus has to run out in the back of him. Wow, that was close. He does close up on Pluto. And it will be a battle now between what Jab can do and what the leaders can do. And speaking of that, Kostag and the AlphaTauri is also on medium, so if there were to be some sort of safety car at any point, he'd be just off the podium. Pitting and coming out of the pits now between the 2 leaders. Is this Jab's chance to take an opportunity? Here he comes out of the pits. Now the leaders. Now here comes Jab. Jab may nick both them. He's going to be in the slipstream. Here comes Pluto. Where does Jab go? To the left side. Kostag sets the best lap while at it. Now, around the outside, Pluto's still going to keep the lead, but he's going to have to warm up his tires. Jab is side by side. There's a bit of contact. And Jab will retake the lead.
Chungus swerving just to get some heat into the tires.
And Kostag set the fastest lap right there. This is his opportunity to close up to the field and maybe show some pace at the end of this race. 5.9, he is closing that gap a little bit. Pluto's got to close this gap back to the URS, and I think he can do so. He definitely has the pace advantage over Jab in this race from what I could tell you. Maybe not by much, but he does have it slightly. He's got to keep it on track. He's got to keep it going. ERS up being applied here. Jab actually saved a lot of ERS from that pit lane. Pluto the lowest out of the ERS, the top 3. Chungus and Jab with the highest. They're all both around 70.
Yeah, Pluto definitely lost some time through the S section.
And Gagi's got a penalty right there. I think that is his first or his second penalty of the race. Let's check that. Yes, that is his first penalty of the race. Pluto outside of DRS, but he's still got Chungus to challenge. Can we see any sort of fight back to Jab when these two have lost DRS? I know people have mentioned to me about preseason. Hopefully it's only preseason, and hopefully the attendance and the retirements get better as the season goes on. I know Simon mentioned to me he was still learning off traction. That's one of the assists being changed for the season. Here we go. Chungus back down the inside of Pluto. Challenging right here. Is he going to take this spot back? A purple sector 1 for Chungus. Pluto gets the advantage, and he's going to go back ahead. Yeah, the inside line right there was ahead, and Chungus had to back out of that one. As I was mentioning with Simon there, Thrasher, that is one of the assists being changed for the season for some of the drivers. Simon still learning off traction and seeing how that spares. 1.2 now between Pluto and Jeb. You can tell that straight line speed for Haas is definitely a bit of an advantage. And Jeb is saving that ERS as well. And the first track, to answer your question, if you go to the Discord, oh, Chungus had a look there for a second. But if you go to the Discord, look at the schedule, you will see the full schedule. You'll see Australia being the first race. We'll sort out a little bit there to get people as reserve. We have a yellow flag, though. That is Calm, who has spun out, got damaged. I think a broken front wing. This could bring out a safety car, or at least a VSC. Does not, though. I know with other people it has, so I was I was waiting to see if it would, but it hasn't.
I know it did in the Tier 3 race,
Oh.
GSR. Oh.
Could bring out a safety car now. I think you got a VSC
Virtual.
right there. So that does halt the race a little bit. Will Chromac gonna enter the pit lane now? Don't think this will get upgraded. Doesn't look like it will. There's a retirement on track. I think he lost the rear as he got back going. I know that rear stability in the Mercedes isn't the best.
I don't know where it is. I can't see where it lost it.
I don't know. 12 laps to go this time. And we're back to racing once again. Flags back out. 1.6 again between Jeb and Pluto. And this does help Pluto save a bit of ERS. Chungus actually almost about to lose the ERS right here. In fact, he's got to keep within 1 second in order to keep it. And speaking of that, Kostag has actually gained a little bit. 4.5 for him. He's not had a bad race, Kostag. He's just been quiet. Mix of things. I know the whole, I guess, glitch with Gagi and him messed him up. Didn't help with Chungus leaving the session either. And again, close between Chungus and Pluto, but not close enough between Pluto and Jab for this lead. Pluto has to be able to gain 3/10 in order to get this lead back, and he's got to probably use a bit more ERS to get the lead back, because Jab is just going to continue to conserve that ERS and going to continue to hold the lead until the time being. See right there, Thrasher, 1.2. 1.2 between Jab and Pluto. He can gain it back, but he's just barely out of it.
Pluto right now just needs to run consistent lap times. That's what he needs to do right now. He just needs to run consistent lap times, no mistakes.
And the good thing with these guys too is Kostag picks up another penalty. I believe that's 9 seconds now? No, 6. Someone else had 9 earlier, I meant. Or was going to get 9 earlier. But the good thing with these guys in preseason is they're able to learn their cars, they're able to learn what they can do with it, and what type of setups they go for throughout the season. I think that's a good thing for this top 3, and especially anybody who's not had any good partaking in this race. That straight line speed, though, advantage to Pluto. Look at this, 1.0. It's the closest he's been in the last couple laps since the pit stop. Almost down to below a second. And he's got to get that by the next DRS zone, which would be, not right here, but it would be X of the S's. That's the next detection point.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, there's a 2-team difference here. There's Haas, and then there's Aston Martin, and then there's Williams. So, Pluto obviously going to pass the car, but it's mainly the straight line speed that is helping him right now.
Look at how much time he's going to lose to his millisecond, though. He might not lose DRS. He might lose DRS at the very edge. He's going to get in DRS because of the detection point. But look at that. Sector 2 has a little bit of a difference there. The DRS closes him back up, and that is the advantage of the Haas right there. And it also depends on, too, what kind of setup you go for. You know, if you go for a good setup, that may be helping you, too, with this. If he goes for a setup that helps from the corners, who knows? Maybe that's what's helping him through Sector 2 keep up to DRS, and he's now going to have DRS for the first time on the medium stint here, all the way down to turn 1, 7/10 back, 8/10 there for a moment. Chungus also waiting in the wings with DRS as well. He saved up a bit of ERS, a little bit lower in the ERS than Jab, but he still has that advantage in case anything happens between the top 2.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, if I'm Chungus, I like exactly where I'm at. These two are definitely going to battle towards the end of the race, and there's definitely going to be some contact. So if I'm Chungus, I'm in a perfect spot right now.
Ricecracker picks up another penalty. I think he's a lap down, maybe 2 laps down. Let me just check. No, he's still in the lead lap, is he? Yeah, he barely is. Fair play to him. You know what? Fair play to him. It's not the best races. I give him credit for that. It says he's still in the lead lap, but I do give him credit for that. Ah, well, then that's the glitch on my screen. Love it. I do give him fair play, though, for still continuing and fighting it through, because you know what? Learn the pace of your car, learn what you can do, and apply it to the first race of the season. And I hope we don't have the same amount of retirements, too, definitely. So that's something to watch out for. And
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps saying he's at 140.
I know, I see that too. And then
140
when I go to leader, he's like less
behind.
behind. It's weird. What's the gap between him and Will? He may be still in that gap. Okay, so he may be okay. I don't know. Yeah, he might still be in the lead lap. That may be a regular interval gap glitch, but not the leader glitch. And Pluto again, 3/10 now to Jab. Can't get close enough this time in the braking zone, but he'll definitely have an advantage down to turn 4. That detection point, we'll have to watch out for that if there's any of these in the regular season. But we'll have to watch out for any sort of double DRS, which helps the driver who is behind. Hungary is a perfect example of that, Thrasher. We have DRS down to turn 1 and DRS down to turn 2, but it's one detection point, so there you go.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of wish there was more double DRS.
At certain tracks. Certain tracks. I think there's in real life they have it. I don't know if there's how many of those in the calendar, but you have 4 tracks in the real life calendar that have that. So, no, some of them deserve it, but some of them don't. I don't know. It's an interesting aspect of it. It's not necessarily double DRS, but it's more of a double detection point. Because, look, Pluto's going to get DRS down to turn 1, and he's going to get that, and that's detection point that he just hit. He's going to get that same DRS that he had into turn 4 because of where that detection point is. So watch this. Down to turn 1 this time. He's 7/10 back. Saves some URS up, though, waiting for the right moment to pounce, and he's going to have advantage again into turn 4, and he's going to close up. I don't know if he'll be close enough for an overtake, but that all depends on this cornering right here in the S's as they come to lap Race Tracker. Look at that. Jab, a little bit of a slide. He had advantage out of there. Yellow flag. I believe that's blue doggy. Yes, it is. He's spun out of the final corner, but here comes Pluto back for the lead once again to the right side. He's going to pull along the outside. He's going to be side by side with Jab. Can he get back ahead? They're going to battle just like they did 10 laps ago around this section. Side by side again on here. This time, Jab's ahead around the outside. Pluto a little bit of an advantage, but Jab fully ahead right there. The advantage in the S section. Can Pluto challenge back? He's so close right here this time. He's much closer than he's been before. Previously, he's got to stick behind him this time. Can't get ahead. Chung is also waiting in the wings. I guess that's the good thing we see from it. You know, if Pluto gets a good exit out of the S's, he gets close enough to Jab right there, and he's able to pull alongside and have his car just alongside him for 4 and 5, and he's now going to get the advantage again with DRS down to here.
Yeah, obviously with the DRS, if he doesn't get him in turn 1 to where I think he will. Yep, here he comes.
Down the left side. Can he get him? Fully alongside. He's gone ahead now. And Jab, I think, used a bit of ERS right there. I don't think he used a lot, but he's now saved it, and he might challenge back right here with the ERS. Jab, known for saving that ERS in other leagues. This one, he has to usually use it a little bit more. And I think it's a good thing that he's actually saving that ERS because you're learning right now how much can you use? How much pace do you have? I think there's a little bit of hidden pace that Jab is hiding behind the ERS. Goggy pits.
Yeah, definitely. Jeb always has, you know, I've raced with Jeb so many times, and one thing that he does better than anyone is save ERS.
But if he uses it here, Thrasher, he's got to use it to his effect. I don't know if his tires are falling away right here, because he's now 7/10 back, and if he wants to have a chance to gain up, he's not going to get, well, he actually is going to get passed by Chungus right here. Look at this. Chungus goes by, 9/10 now. So, yeah, if Jab wants to challenge back, he's got to use that ERS to his affection. And I don't know where the detection point was, but I don't know if Chungus will be in DRS or not here. He might just barely be. Is he? Yes, he is. Just barely. Jab, all DRS now. He will have that advantage down to turn 1 with that being said. I don't know if he struggled a little bit there and lost the rear or not and allowed Chungus through because of it, but it's a good team play from the Williams boys here because they're learning what they can both do as teammates in order to challenge or any other car that may have an advantage from the season and be out in front. Also, another thing I mentioned too earlier was the gap between Kostag and these guys. That's back to 5.0. So at least with Kostag's race, he's not too far off these guys, especially with the gap that they have been able to pull.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Kostag's just, he's been really quiet today, you know. Hasn't really been battling with a lot of drivers. Obviously, just towards the front, towards the beginning, and then the whole glitch thing happened. But yeah, Chris Hector's just running his own quiet little race.
And pitting is Gagi. He's been held in the pits for a very long time. Serving a 5-second, that might be why. There you go. Going onto the soft tires late in this race. Might get in a battle with Will Cromack here at the end, if he gets out perfectly. Now DRS down to turn 1 this time. Chungus and Pluto. Pluto with the straight line advantage. Chungus saved a lot of ERS. In fact, he's got the best ERS out of anybody. Best battery here. Gotta use a bit of it if you want to catch Pluto. You got 5 laps to go now. If you want to do
Yeah,
it,
definitely.
when will be the opportunity? Sorry, go ahead. Had to take off my headset for a
No,
minute.
I was just saying, Chungus with the DRS, very, very smart choices on when he uses the overtake. You have to plan that very correctly. You know that the driver in front, which in this case is Pluto, has better straight line speed. So if I'm Chungus, I gotta get him in the corners and at least be closer to him on the straights. With this little DRS straight, it's gonna help him gain about a tenth or two. But if I'm Chungus, I need to be right on his rear, exiting the final corner.
If I'm correct here, everybody in the top 3 has a warning for track limits, so they have to be careful on exceeding any sort of track limits in order to not get a penalty, which would change this race massively. Are we seeing Chungus put together some race pace here and be able to show what his true colors are? Because last season he had a lot more qualifying pace than race pace. Can he go challenge for this lead again in turn 1? He cannot do it now, but we are on to lap 33 out of 36. 4 laps to go. If Chungus has an opportunity that's closest to this win, right now is the best chance. He's going to have DRS down to turn 4. ERS is better, but he's not using any overtake. He's sticking behind Pluto still.
Yeah, I understand what Chungus is doing. He's gonna save as much overtake as he can for these last final laps, because he knows that he's in a disadvantage on the straights. So
And
kind of a smart choice.
not only that, but you got to set yourself up for the right time to pass Pluto. Pluto's a tough person to pass. So you got to set yourself up the right time, right moment. And look at how much ERS he has now. He's about 90%. If he uses it down this front straight, can Chungus pull that gap that he's wanting to pull? And does Pluto know this ERS that he has? Because Pluto is in the 40s, while Chungus is in the 90s, and Jab is not too far off Chungus either on that battery.
And both wing drivers right now do a great job of saving DRS.
There you go, Gagi right behind this train, setting past his left. But here's the DRS all the way down to turn 1. Pluto pulling Chungus along, but can it be the other way? Chungus pulling Pluto along. He lets off a bit there, stays behind. He's waiting to the last lap, I think. He's going to make this a last lap battle. And Jab is right there to challenge and pounce if anything happens. He is waiting for something to happen. I think of NASCAR races all the time where, the front two have took each other out. I look back to Bristol Dirt with NASCAR. The 2 leaders, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, they took each other out. 3rd place man wins. We'll go to 2018 Charlotte Roval. Your favorite driver, Thrasher at the time, Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex, they took each other out. Blaney won the race. 3rd place car, he won the race. So is that what Jab is waiting for to have happen? Because he has managed it just right. He is just waiting. I could tell when he's been in 3rd, he's not been aggressive, but he's been fair with these guys. He's almost out of ERS, Will Cromack spun. But he's almost out of DRS, Jab, but he's just barely in it. If he's waiting for something to happen, he's definitely waiting for the last lap in order for it to happen. He's not shown his true pace, I feel, Jab. He's still got a little bit in him, especially with this ERS. They're being careful with where they use it, because now Chungus is almost up to 100 with 2 laps to go. Here we go.
Yeah, I think this is where Chungus starts to use it.
It's going to have to be soon. He's got a lot left. Is it now down into turn 4 where he may use it? He's still behind him. He's still going to stick behind him into turn 1 this time. The move is not going to be made just yet. If it's going to be made on this lap, it's going to be into turn 4. And he is close, but not enough on the traction there. Pluto got better traction out of turn 3, and now on the run to turn 4, it's going to be Pluto sticking ahead of Chungus. 90% still in the URS, and he's going to be almost up to 100 as we look here on the last lap.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a great final lap.
I know Gaggi's a lap car right here, but Jab is still close too, and I know Jab's going to be frustrated with what Gaggi just did right there. But Gaggi's going to have to practically let Jab back through with the blue flags, unless he's fast enough by a whole lot to overtake these guys. He's going to maybe give Pluto DRS if he's smart here. He's got 3 seconds of penalties now, with that being said, and Jab 5/10 behind, waiting for the perfect opportunity. I know he's hindering Chungus right there. Chungus might be frustrated if he can't overtake Pluto right here. 3/10 that gap, now 4/10. The URS has to be used this lap from Chungus, unless he's holding back. This will be the last lap right here. 100% on the battery. ERS finally being used for Chungus. And the first time in a while, here's ERS, here's the battery being used all the way down to turn 1. Can he get him? He is close, but is he not close enough in the braking zone to pass him yet? Here we go. Does he make a move? Yes, he does, down the inside. Oh, there's contact. He's got a penalty on the last lap. Look at that. That's cost him the race victory. Now, Chungus, ERS applied. Can he get him on track? At least down to turn 4. Kostak with the fast lap down the inside. Pluto's pitch jump. Chungus side by side. He pushes him out, but he's got to move back to the left side. Can Jab take advantage? They're side by side into turn 5. Pluto on the inside, Chungus are on the outside. They're making contact. Pluto pitches him. They're going to be side by side on the S's. Oh, Chungus sideways, but Pluto keeps the lead. Jab is still right there as well in the wings to pounce in case Chungus has another go here. Chungus in DRS with ERS. Can he make another move? Oh, to the outside, side by side. Pluto stays ahead, and he's done a good job of doing so. When Pluto looked like he had this race lost, he's going to come to the line and possibly win here. Jab gets by Chungus on track. They're going to be side by side to the line. Oh, they make contact, but Pluto, your Season 1 champion, wins preseason with an amazing battle to hold on to do so. Jab second place, Chungus on the podium, while Chromac gets by Gaggi on the last lap. Unbelievable.
That was amazing.
I'm out of breath. He'll stag a little bit of a donut.
I'm so glad I retired.
There you go. Oh dear. What an amazing race that was. And Kostak spins out. He'll be one of the last cars to cross the line with Racecracker just behind. Hopefully Kostak can finish this race in 4th place and not get disqualified. Here we go. Kostak to the line. He will do it in style. Kostak finishes 4th place. Racecracker a little bit reversed and past the line. There you go. And Nias finished this race. We won't get any interviews within the top 3, but we will debrief this race quickly. Thrasher, a little bit of a 2-minute debrief. Thoughts in the battle and thoughts into the season now as we've seen what just happened. Hello? Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just
okay.
I just saw breaking news on my phone.
Oh.
Wow.
What a battle.
Yeah, definitely. What a battle. Yeah, that was. Part of me says I really wish Gaggi wasn't there because I think it would have been a better battle.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think Gaggi. I mean, it was still a great battle, but I think it would have been such a better battle if Gaggi wasn't doing that. But
well, that could have maybe been the difference. And we're not gonna do podium interviews in preseason. We did our interview with Polo that I wanted to do, but I do want to interview you quickly, Thrasher, regarding this season. I have to talk about you being a reserve and you maybe making an appearance if there is need be. I have to ask, maybe not the pace you're gonna have, but the expectation. You know, maybe to get a point or two. Is that your expectation, maybe?
yeah, definitely just to get a couple points.
If you do reserve, of course.
You know, yeah, if I do reserve, just to get a couple points. I definitely am. There's a definitely huge gap in pace for me between last game and this game. I just struggle a lot, but I hope if I can continue to run some time trial laps, and I'll eventually get better. But just a couple points.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had a good preseason race. As a driver, as just well, a driver as a reserve, as a commentator too, both aspects. What are you expecting into the season then, and especially your aspect too? Are you expecting to have any battles if you do race? What's the aspect of that you look at?
Um, Maybe there's definitely a chance I could, just driver aspect, take some battles. But to be honest, I can't. I mean, after watching that preseason race, I just can't wait for the season we're about to have.
Yeah,
Um, you know, there's gonna be so many great battles. We just saw probably one of the best battles of the league so far. Um,
definitely.
but if that's what we're gonna get and it's only preseason, then just sign me up.
Yeah, right. I knew Chungus was gonna wait to the last lap there. Um, Also, um, Australia's next. Um, any sort of predictions for what type of race we have? I know we'll have a lot more contenders than we had just today, so there's a lot more that we haven't seen that we'll probably see in race one. However, from what we did see today, Thrasher, I do want to kind of get your thoughts on what kind of race we'll see at race one. Are we gonna, in just the season as a whole, are we gonna see many different winners with that aspect too? Because it looked like in sector one, Pluto was that faster car, and he was able to close up in DRS, and he was able to hold off in that Haas. I mean, are we gonna have many different winners, and what's race one gonna look like? With that being said,
Yeah, I think we are gonna have a bunch of race winners. You know, they're the performance pace, the patch, sorry, the performance patch really helped it, and I think it gave us more winners than we would have had without the patch. Um, and we kind of watched it today. We saw the Williams drivers, both Jab and Chungus, and then you had Pluto, and then further on the back, you had, Communist battling with Riles, you had Will Chromac battling with Goggy. So I think there's definitely gonna be some exciting racing, and as for for race one, I don't see the battling stopping. Australia is a track where you know there's it's
chaos.
an interesting. How do I put this?
It's more wider now. It's a different layout, so
It
like
is. Yeah, the
it's maybe
different layout
better in the
definitely
cleaner racing
changes it.
aspect. Yeah.
It could, and it gives chances to see more good battles, and but there's also a chance that for some chaos. So I think we're gonna get a mixed bag next week. We're gonna get some chaos. We're gonna get some great battling, um, but I just can't wait.
I'm with you on that. I can't wait either. I I know it's pro only preseason. We can only hope the attendance is getting better. I'll do a little bit of recruiting hopefully in the meantime. I'll try my best at least because I know some of the slower cars didn't have some drivers here today, such as like JNT and Brute, um, and even some of the top faster cars. I know a couple people messaged me beforehand saying why they were gonna miss. It's reasonable. It's understandable. So I get it. However, if there are people who miss a whole lot in the race or the regular season itself, then why'd you sign up? I guess I don't know. That's only well, not why'd you sign up, but why'd you sign up as full time? I think is my proper way of wording that. But I'm with you on that, Thrasher. I'm glad to have you join us or join me at least in the commentary box for the season because I think it'll be a lot of fun with you, a lot of fun to commentate, and a lot of fun to talk about. Because I mean, just quick more 2 minutes on this I'll speak about, but I think this season as a whole, could we see a lot of different winners? I think we could, but certain tracks are going to suit certain cars, and I think with the car placements, it's not done pretty badly. I mean, a lot of people thought Pluto being in the Haas was going to be really bad, but he's quite similar to Jab and Chungus right there. So there you go. And I think another thing from Chungus we could be seeing is, are we seeing some actual racecraft from him? I see a lot of really good qualifying pace from him in the real season last season, but I know he's not got that race pace last game, and he didn't finish out the races the way he should have. He had some pace in some of them, but he didn't finish out all the races except for Saudi. So I'm thinking maybe this is his turnaround. I know it's one race, but maybe it is his turnaround. Maybe it's his time to shine. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I've really liked what I've seen from Chungus, especially today. Um, he definitely shows that he is one of the best drivers in the league today. As you know, along with Chad and Pluto, those three are definitely the three most talented drivers that I've ever gotten the chance to race with. So it's just setting up for race season, and plus, you have drivers who couldn't make it today. That'll to throw it into the battle. So
We'll see how it goes.
yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, I definitely liked what I saw from Chungus today.
Yeah, I think the racing aspect, I like what I saw, so we'll have to see if it continues in race one. Anyway, speaking of race one, that's the next time you'll catch us. Thrasher, I think you'll be on the podcast later this week. Am I right? I think you might be.
Yeah, I will.
So that'll be great to see. We'll discuss our predictions for later on in the season, and just the season as a whole. Maybe race one. I think that's something we'll get to talk about. That'll be quite nice. And we'll have to see from there. Glad to have you join us. I'm glad to hear good
Thank you
energy
for
from you.
having
I'm
me.
glad to hear you happy because you know what? I'm happy too. We might. Although the attendance wasn't great, we have something positive to look out for. Good racing at the front of the field, and maybe hopefully good racing in the regular season itself. We'll have to see what it transpires. Either way, I am your host Ryan Oak on 31 GSR Thrasher, my co-commentator. But until race one, and until next time, see you then.